everybody. Welcome to Pool Talk. I believe this might be the fifth edition, but I'm going to talk briefly about people that keep their pool running through the winter. If you do, be sure to winterize your water, your slide, water going to your slide, your mini jets and water features around the pool. Those things are the ones that can freeze on you because if you're not running them all the time, and they'll probably freeze up in the kind of weather that we're getting with this polar vortex that comes through and it gets below zero, and with the wind chill it gets even worse. So if you're a person that keeps your pool running through the winter, just make sure that you winterize those features. Um, Now, there's a way that we do it. We use a fitting that we put when we take out the pressure gauge. We screw the fitting in. It's got a quick disconnect to it that we hook our hose to from our air compressor. And when we do that, we blow the lines. We go through a process of elimination, blowing the lines. And if you're going to keep your pool running, you're not going to winterize it. You can close off the return lines and you can close off your main drain and your skimmers, and you can just blow your features. Once they're blown, you can close the valves off that go to them, and that way you've winterized them. So you just let the water all blow out of them. When there's air just coming out, you can close the valve. The valve will not allow water to get back in it, and that will keep your slide and your water features and your mini jets or whatever you have from freezing. Now, if your pool is running after that and you got your pool running and all of a sudden it's this extremely cold weather, as long as your pump is running and it's movement, the water won't freeze. But as soon as it shuts off and it's below freezing, you're going to freeze up. So you got to immediately, like, I'm going to tell you what to do. You take a towel and you stuff it in your skimmer. Get your skimmer basket out, put a towel in there, and when you put the towel in there, it will allow the water to freeze, but not solid. So it will create a cushion to keep your skimmer from freezing and busting. Your water inside the pool is above, if it's halfway on the skimmer, it's definitely high enough that it is insulating the return on the pool inside the pool. So your return is 12 inches down, and so that part of it would be insulated. It's just on the back side based on how your pool is backfilled. If the elbow going to the return it is exposed under the deck or close to it, you might have a problem there. And that's where I find people that did not winterize the pool properly usually find a pipe that it may be frozen and busted under the deck. It would be there. Um, Now on your skimmers and your main drain, you at the pipes that come up out of the ground, right at ground level. Once you open up your pump, if after you've winterized your water features, let's go back. Okay, let's just say that your pool is running and it does the electricity goes off and you don't know what to do. Well, you go immediately to your system and you take you a little pair of pliers or whatever, and you take there's two plugs in your main pump. There's one in your filter, and you always remove them first. Immediately remove those plugs. Take the lid off the pump so it'll drain out. If it doesn't, stick a rag in there so it'll absorb the freezing, but it may not protect it on the backside where your impeller is. So you got to try to get those plugs out and use something to keep poking in there if it ices up on you to keep that water draining out. But one thing that you really want to do, if you can, you want to winterize everything. But if you can't, put a tarp over it and find a heat source that you can use to keep it warm under there long enough until your electricity comes back on. Or if you can warm it up enough under a tarp where you can actually get everything drained above the ground. So there's not a lot that you can do when that happens, but nobody's going to get there and rescue you fast enough. You're going to have to do it yourself. So it's urgent that you get those plugs out, that you get the filter and the pumps drained. Anything else like a skimmer, um, any your heater, very important. Now it's going to freeze up fast. You have a heater. There's a plug. You're gonna have to pull them plugs, but that's got to be blown. So you can take union sluice at the bottom, and that'll help drain it out. If you have your heater exposed and water running through it. So instead of it being valved off, but it should be winterized too if you're not using your heater. You should go on and winterize the heater too and leave your pool just circulating. But my advice to anybody, winterize your pool in the winter. It's not necessary to keep it running. You think you're saving money, but you're really not. You're going to cost yourself more money if any urgent situation arises where it comes to freezing. So, and you're just wearing your equipment out. If it's not being used, there's nothing hard about winterizing a pool. If you learn to do it, I've got videos and I can teach you, and I will, how to take care of your own pool. That's Pool Talk. Leave comments. I'll answer questions for you, and I'll see you next time on Pool Talk.